Alright, hope everybody's having a good one. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator with Cookie Pirate. Today, we're flying the Cirrus SR22. We're going from Dawson City in the Yukon Territory over to central Alaska. About 54 minutes en route. We're going at 20,000 feet. It's about 172 miles. Climb aboard. Let's go flying. Okay, we're loaded in. Here we are on the ground. Couple updates. I had to reinstall Windows and the simulator and configure my streaming and recording software, OBS, all of that stuff, and spent a little time getting it set up nice and neat. And I have a pretty cool new feature that I'm going to share in just a moment. I think it'll be an interesting addition, as you all will be able to see a little bit better kind of what's going on with the flight. Let's see here. Hold on just a second as I'm configuring a couple things. Now you don't see the cursor moving all over the place, but you can still see when I move over a button or a switch in the sim as they're highlighted. And the next thing I have to share is that. What is that? Oh, that's gonna be a cool little feature that you all can see airports that I'm flying to and from. And then some information about the altitude, the heading, speed, all of that good stuff. Pretty neat. I mean, at least I think so. I hope you all do. That'll just be a little easier. Give some kind of display info. Alright, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get loaded into the end of the flight here. First thing we do, the 2 battery switches on. We're back in the Cirrus, which is nice, a comfortable, easy plane to fly. It looks like my mixture control isn't working, and actually, it looks like nothing on my controls are working at the moment. So just hold on a second and I'm gonna get that fixed. I'm gonna disable that for a second. Okay, there we go. Got it working. Alright, so we're loaded in. We've got these started up. Let's just go through a couple things we need to set up quick. So mixture's full rich. We're going to turn the boost pump on. Throttle full forward. Now we're going to pull it back and then just bump it a little bit. And we can turn the strobe lights on. I'll give them an indication that we're going to get ready to start the engine. And let's just look ahead real quick. Clear left and right. Let's get the mag switch on. Okay, clear! Engine is running. Oil pressure is immediately up into the green. Our oil temperature is rising. Let's turn the 2 alternator switches on and let's lean the mixture out. There's peak. We'll pull the power to idle. Let's go ahead and turn the avionics on. Now that I got the controls in, I realized they were not plugged in as I routed the cable in the back. And had to disconnect it earlier. And then just had to make sure the configuration profiles for my flight controllers loaded in properly, which they did, so we're back in business. Alright, let's grab the weather here at Dawson real quick. CYDA. Alright, 080 at 6. We can take off going to the southwest. That's not a really strong tailwind. We have enough runway to work with. 20 miles visibility. 4,300, 9,000, 12,000 for the clouds. 19 Celsius on the ground here. 2974. Okay. So we are good there. Let's check a couple things, make sure we're going up to 20,000 on our way to Central. FLC on, we'll set to 110. Nav mode on, VNav mode on, and yeah, let's go ahead and transponders at altitude. That's good. That is good. And I think we're ready to taxi. Let's turn our nav lights on real quick. Alright, park and brake is released, and let's start moving forward here. I also actually did some adjustment of my actual flight controls, the hardware, mainly the throttle, because I found that it was sticking a lot and kind of jumping. And so this should... I'm still probably going to need to set up differential brakes on here, because this is still just kind of too jumpy for my liking. So we're going down over here. I believe it's runway 21. Yes, it is. Oh, they really did a good job modeling this airport. It looks gorgeous. This is one of the world updates that Microsoft brought for the simulator. And Dawson is one that got featured, which is really cool, considering with that world update they focused almost entirely on the major cities in Canada, which, I mean, makes sense, but I'm really glad that they took some time to focus up here on the Yukon. Beautiful part of this, of the world, really, but of the country. Alright. Turn a landing light on. First thing we'll go ahead and do is lower the flaps to half. Set our trim to takeoff. We'll go outside, check the flight controls quick. Rudder is good. Elevator is good. Ailerons are good. Back into the cockpit. Next up, we're going to bump the throttle up to 1700 RPM. It's a little bit high right there. Oh, we got to go full rich on the mixture when we do that. I always forget that when I lean it on the ground. And the mixture needs to be full rich. before you take off, otherwise you'll get a big warning with your engine temperature. I think I had that happen once, actually. I think I was going out of Tanana or Galena or something over in Alaska, and that happened. Alright, all of our instruments are looking pretty good right now. First thing we'll do is turn the ice light and the pitot heat on. Just make sure we have good electrical numbers. Yep, 0 amps, 28 volts. We can turn that off. We'll leave the landing light on. Check the mags. Alright. All the mag checks were good. Engine instruments are still looking good. We'll go idle power. And final checks. Flaps are set to half on both sides. Mixture's rich. Boost pump is on. Lights are set. Trim is set. We're good to go. So we're taxiing out runway 21 here on Dawson. Pretty standard. We get out on the runway, full power, rotate the plane at 77 knots, lift off in the low 80s. We'll pitch for 110, bring the flaps up. We'll engage the autopilot. What? Always. There's always a van or a truck or something that has to drive into my plane. It never fails. Alright, we are lined up. Let's go full power. Engine instruments are good. Release the brakes. Airspeed is alive. Up. There we go. And we can bring the flaps up. Take a look at the pine forests right there, and then you look over here. It's the Klondike River. And we kind of have to fly within this valley. You can't go up much over there. So what we'll probably end up doing is flying a course around the river until we, Alright, so we'll wait to engage the autopilot. We would do that at 2,000 feet generally. But we'll just hold off. We lower the nose, looking for about 110. Wow. Alright, we can go ahead and turn now, because we will be over the... That will no longer be red, that terrain on the line that we need to go to. It will be yellow and then probably green by the time we cross over it. Look at that right down there, the Klondike River. One nice little hint, if you align the yellow arrows here, arrows on the screen with the purple ones, it'll actually get you kind of the airspeed and the course track that you're looking for. We can go ahead and engage the autopilot now. And we'll let go, and it should take itself over. About a quick look outside. Oh, there it is, for a second. Yep, so there's the airport, where we took off. And the Klondike River. And back here's the Yukon River. And in a moment, we'll be able to see the town of Dawson. Alright, so we are climbing. Let's go ahead and lean the mixture. We're looking for the bottom of the... For the bottom of the green there. There we go. I didn't realize, but my throttle actually got bumped back just a tiny bit. We were running at like 96% power, which is not a big deal. I mean, we've done the cruise climb procedure where you set the power at 85% and you just fly with it at that. Alright, so 5 degrees Celsius, that means we need to go ahead and turn the pitot heat on. Let's grab a look right down. Now, we can't see it yet. It's going to be right over here. And the hill. This hilltop is kind of in the way. Well, it's starting to show up a little bit now. But if you take a look, you'll be able to see the actual city of Dawson. And this is the Yukon River. And the Klondike River, where we were kind of flying along for a moment, runs right into the Yukon, right at the edge of the town. And really, I think these hills are beautiful, and then you get some of the mountains back there. Yeah, and you all, please just feel free to let me know if you have any issues with the sound. Of course, I had to tweak some things, and so I don't know my balance of music, the game audio, and then my voice. So yeah, just let me know if it sounds good or if anything needs to be turned up or down. I mean, I can kind of listen in. There's a feature I can just set it so I hear basically what you all would hear. And it sounds like the music might be a little bit on the quiet end, but I'm not sure. Especially if, like when I'm talking, if it suppresses the game audio or the music. Alright, so a couple things. If you're looking at the top, you can see, and I have to spend some time kind of customizing these. It'll take a little bit of photo editing to change what's listed up at the top of the screen. But you can see, of course, the aircraft type and the call sign, which I probably will change that at a point. But it's telling the ETA, so how much longer the flight is, an hour and 11 minutes. And I'm not sure why it's showing up twice. In fact, let me go in there and let me adjust that real quick. Should go away in a moment. Yeah, still there. I'm not sure why. But, oh well. So we're starting to come up through some of these clouds. And we're actually, it looks like we're starting to pick up a tiny bit of icing. And now we're going to be going to pick some more up. So let's go ahead and turn the de-ice on. We'll turn the cabin heat on and set the airflow to low. Just to start out, that'll help kind of prevent any extra ice. We can turn the landing light off. We can also probably lean the mixture a little bit more. Yep, good there. And we're going to have some pretty favorable winds. Right now it's a kind of a crosswind. .26 knot crosswind, but we're getting about a 12 knot headwind component. But from what I was looking at, when it shifts at a higher altitude, we're going to get like a really strong tailwind, which will be nice. Alright, coming up almost to 18,000 feet. Once we hit it, we will set standard pressure on the altimeter. So, because of the difference in pressure, the altitude, it's probably going to read 20,002 or 300, I would take a guess. Because it won't take account the difference in pressure. I think what it is actually sensing is our real altitude above sea level, and not just kind of what the altimeter in the plane is saying. So I'm still not sure why that is being duplicated, but whatever. Alright, 20,000 feet, we've reached our cruise. We're going to go ahead and switch the fuel tank. Boost pump can come off. Pull back on the power to about 30.5 on the manifold pressure. There, lean out the mixture, looking for about 20 gallons per hour. Tends to be about where peak power's at. Yeah, right about there. And we're above the clouds. We can go ahead and turn the de-icing off. And yeah, 38 knot wind aloft. We're getting about a 16 knot, yeah, a 16 knot tailwind component. We'll grab a quick look outside. Yeah, so it's showing us just below 9. Actually, so I had it backwards. Showing us about 19,800, give or take, and that's because the air pressure is lower than standard. So when you are in above 18,000 feet and you're flying in what is called the flight levels, when you set standard pressure, if the real pressure is below 29.92, then your altitude is going to be, your real altitude will be lower than what's on the altimeter. If you set the pressure higher than what it really is, that's the effect you get. On the other hand, if the actual pressure is higher than what is set, then your real altitude will be above what your altimeter says. Now, if we're flying below 18,000 feet, we use altimeter settings based on our departure, arrival airport, and you'll generally set them to a local or nearby airport every 50 or so miles, as a rule of thumb. Yeah, so we're getting right into the sunlight. I'm actually going to drop that, and yeah, the overlay covers it up. But yeah, sun's shining right through. So that kind of helps on my side with that. Now if we go back out of the cockpit here, I don't think we can really still see Dawson. Yeah. Actually, you can, I think, just right down here. Just barely. I believe that's it. It's tough to tell from here. We're gaining a lot of ground pretty quick. Let's go back in. And now we have about a 17 or 18. Yeah, 17 or 18 knot tailwind component. Minus 21 up here at altitude. Kind of hear the wind hitting the plane. Pretty strong. Pretty strong wind aloft. Oh, also, the red bar up at the top of the screen, is kind of the progress of the route. So that'll tell you really about. So when I mention and look at the map and try to determine if I'm about halfway there, a quarter of the way there, or something like that, well, now you can see it better. I'm just not totally sure why that that second number at the bottom is still. Looks like we're hitting just a little bit of turbulence. And actually there's some pretty high clouds over here. I don't think we're going to be going in them. And this won't be the final configuration of this that I'm using. Kind of just testing it out. I like it. But I think I want to make it a little bit smaller. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Let me know what you think. I can actually raise the sun shield now. Looks like we're gonna be doing a little bit of cloud surfing, I suppose. Those are almost up to top. Look at the moon. That's pretty neat. And that's really kind of clouded over here. Emirates, welcome. Appreciate you joining. Let me go ahead and pull up the map. I still like doing that. Kind of visualize the route. We just passed into the U.S. Okay. Border was right here. So PACE, it's Central Alaska. There's a town called Central, and it is kind of northeast of Fairbanks. So, kind of a little grass field. And we took off out of Dawson, Canada, in the Yukon Territory. So, yeah, here's where we started. This is all the Yukon Territory. We crossed over. Put live chat up. I don't think I have it configured for YouTube, actually. I'll have to do that at some point. Yeah, I literally set this up just a couple hours ago, believe it or not. I had to reinstall Windows on my computer yesterday. So here's the Eagle Airport. I don't think we're going to be able to see it because of the... Yeah, nah, it's completely cloudy below. Nice plane, yeah, I appreciate it. The Cirrus, it's a fun plane. Easy to fly, pretty fast. But still pretty simple. Yeah, look at this. We're doing 233 knots over the ground. That's just wild. Yeah, we get a little bit of a break of the, You love flying, aviation. I do too. You subbed to me. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Kind of slowly growing the channel. Just I like flying and kind of sharing the videos because it's fun for me, you know. Got a love of something like aviation and flying. Find a way to share it. You know, encourage people to get involved in it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I appreciate you. Now we may get a chance to see Eagle here in a moment if these. There's a little bit of a break in the clouds. Yeah, there it is. Of course, now I don't have the mouse pointer up. I can actually... There we go. You don't have the game? Well, it is available on Xbox Game Pass if you do that. But, yeah, I hear you. Flight Simulator Life, thank you. I appreciate you. Kinda just starting out with this stuff. I mean, I've done a bunch of flights, a bunch of videos for fun. Nothing serious, but seems like in the past few days it's all of a sudden started to pick up, and I'm kinda surprised. Yeah, so if this down here clears up, we'll get a better view. Yeah, here we go. So if you look, there's the Eagle Airport, and there's Eagle itself, the town, and then Eagle Village sits... Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to clear up or not to be able to see that, but it basically sits along this bank of the Yukon River right here. And then probably a mile, maybe even a half mile on the other side of the river is where the border with Canada is. So we go back into the cockpit here. Hope you have a safe flight. Sorry, gotta get by. No worries, hey. I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks again for the sub. Have a safe flight. See you again. Hey, Flight Simulator Life, thank you. I appreciate it. We'll catch you soon. It looks like the winds are shifting more to a crosswind. Even than they were before. Let's try to grab the weather. Actually, you know what? I don't think Central has weather. Oh boy. Alright. That's gonna make things kind of tough, since we don't have weather on the ground. And the closest airport, Circle City, doesn't have weather either. It's kind of halfway between Fairbanks and Fort Yukon. Hey, Control Gaming. Hello, welcome back. We're gonna have to get ready to start a descent. The altimeter at Fairbanks and Fort Yukon, which are the two closest airports to Central, even though they're quite far. I'm surprised nothing out here has a weather station. I'm really surprised. But what we'll have to do is set it to 2975 and just kind of watch if anything changes. Love the view, I appreciate it. There's Alaska and the Yukon Territory have some just beautiful scenery, and the weather's great this time of year to fly around there. But it's actually also really pretty in the winter. We're going to go ahead and start our altitude down. Probably don't want to go quite that low yet, although it might actually be okay. My guess is that if we descend down to... Well, they do have RNAVs into Central, but I think we're probably just going to be able to take the visual. I'm guessing we're going to have to do the visual for 8, although I could set it for 2.6 and just kind of see what we get. Yeah, so we're getting close to the top of descent. We'll be at Coal Creek. So I'll let the VNAV take care of that when we get to that point. But yeah, our ground speed has slowed down to about 226, and that's because the wind is shifting more. Showing we should be on the ground in about 20 minutes. Give or take, it'll probably be a little more than that. Although maybe not. If we go into 2.6 it won't. If we circle around and land on runway 8, it will be more than 20. Yeah, look at that right there. It's pretty. Although, the snow cap in the middle of July doesn't make a whole ton of sense, but there's nothing you can do about that for now. I know when Flight Sim 24 comes out, they will have seasons, so the snow and all of that will probably be configured, so we don't have that. Starting to get a little bumpy again. I could try to look up somewhere. Alright, well, just looked. It's kind of out of the southwest right now, so 2.6 probably is the right runway choice. It's showing 20 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy, so it actually should be pretty pleasant on the ground. So yeah, I think we stick with what we what we've got planned. Should be descending here just about another 3 minutes. I have a feeling these winds will shift by the time we start on our way down. Let's grab another look outside real quick here. So this right here, I believe, is Coal Creek. It runs into the Yukon. It's too bad we can't really see back to Eagle. It's a really pretty area. These are all the White Mountains. Fairbanks would be out off the left wing. Yeah, a bit further, I think. Look at that heading into the sunlight. And I also realized that the time is not synced in the sim for whatever reason, and I've had that problem lately, whereas it defaults that it normally will start on live time. Lately it hasn't been, and it is simulating that it would be about almost 8 in the evening right now, Alaska time. So, I mean, it is what it is, and it actually makes for some quite pretty... yeah, quite pretty views in the sky and such. Well, I'll need to check that. I guess my time was off when we talked about starting a descent, but now look at that, it's having us circle back around. The GPS track is messed up. It shouldn't be doing that. No wonder we haven't started descending. Ah. Alright, well, tell you what we're gonna do here. Activate a vector to final, and that's going to turn and take us right down on the course, and we'll be able to descend to 4,000 without problems. We'll be over all that terrain. So I am going to hit the FLC button. There we go. We're going to pull the power back to about 35%, kind of where it's at right now, and we'll just keep an eye on our cylinder head temps. We don't want them to go below 240 for any extended time. And we can actually set flying us an intercept, we can actually go direct to that fix. That'll save us a moment. And the RNAV should come up. Or RNAV, the VNAV should come up. And they got a fairly steep descent rate. It's not a big deal. Just need to watch. Make sure it doesn't get out of control or that it doesn't kind of stabilize and we end up late. Late, so to speak, is in like reaching the altitude we need to be at late. Alright, we're below 18,000 feet. We can go ahead and set this. We'll go ahead and set it to 2975. Look at that view right there. You got the moon, and you got the mountains. That's pretty. Pull the map up real quick. So we're coming along the... Yep. Right along the edge here. Straight into Central. There's the Circle Hot Springs Airport. And then Circle City Airport is up here. And then all of this is the Yukon River. Again, Fort Yukon is probably the closest airport with weather. And then Fairbanks is not far either. Surprising that nothing in this area. You've got three airports right here. And none of them have weather. At least they're not coming up in the sim. Hi, dude. David, welcome. It's pretty clear out that way. I think we're pointing right back over at Circle Hot Springs. Yeah, that's what we would be looking at. Kinda can't see it quite behind the clouds, but we're right in that area. We lower that. Kind of cut back on some of the haze that we're getting. Now the wind has settled down, only a 20 knot crosswind instead of a 40 knot. And yeah, we're still getting a 4 knot, 3 to 4 knot tailwind component. Lovely view, yeah, appreciate that. This is a gorgeous area to fly in, the interior of Alaska. I do mostly Alaska flights, and I mean I've gone kind of all over from the interior, down of course around the Anchorage area, some in the southeast, and the Kenai Peninsula and Kodiak. And I would say the interior, at least so far, has been my favorite, just because the weather usually tends to be the best, and I mean you just get such a variety with the river, the hills, you get some flat land. The forests are lush. Alright, as we're descending, we'll keep our eye on the mixture. We'll need to bump it, enrichen it if we go below the green arc, but right now we're okay. Let's go ahead and... No, we don't need to switch it right now. Fuel tanks. Cylinder head temps are good. Let's pull back on the power just a tiny bit. You see this this magenta notch on our vertical speed indicator, and that's about where we want to be to descend on the proper, well, descend to be at the proper altitudes for when we get on the approach course, which is what we want. We're getting lower. There's the Yukon River. If you were to follow the Yukon, you'd eventually run into the city of, well, I should say the Circle City. In fact, I think you can kind of see it. If we zoom in, yeah, it's kind of right up here is the town of Circle. And then Fort Yukon further up the river that way. Just these heavily forested hills back here. Quite pretty. That's the kind of view I enjoy probably the most. Alright, let's do some descent items on the checklist here. The landing light will come on. Pitot heat still needs to stay on. It's only 1 Celsius. Switch fuel tank boost pump on. Can turn that off. Zoom in on her. Okay, yeah, so Circle Hot Springs is gonna be... Yeah, in fact, I see it. It's right there. that's the airport, and then the hot springs themselves, I don't remember exactly where they're at, but I know they're just behind that lake. By the way, I find out the frequency for aircrafts? Are you referring to the radio frequencies? Or talk to air traffic control, or the navigation frequencies, or what? Yeah, we gotta leave that down. It's just too hazy right now with the sun coming down. We are going to start slowing the airplane down, so what I'm going to do is pull back on the power, and then we're going to lower our FLC speed down to about 140. Pull back on the power. We can let it idle for a moment. I just don't want to leave it on idle for an extended period of time. And the cylinder head temps, I mean, look at how fast they're dropping. Now we can add the power back in. Try to match that magenta notch there on the vertical speed indicator. Now, take a little more of that out. And we're slow enough that we can actually add half flaps, although I'm a little hesitant to do that. And I think I see the airport right there. It's just if I mouse over that, it's it pops up and then it's just so hazy that you can't see. Oh, just to listen to aircraft. So it's gonna depend on the area that you're in. If you want to listen to it at a specific place, really liveatc.net is the best place you can listen to pretty much any air traffic facility in the US to listen to the planes. If you mean in the simulator, you have to go and configure just some settings to be able to hear the different aircraft. And I generally fly without. Now that speed lowered, yeah, we're level off at 4,000 here. So what I'm going to do is disengage the autopilot, bump the power back in, and I see the airport. It's right here. It's tough to see at the moment. It's right there. And whoop. Lower the trim just a little bit there. Take the power out a little more. Now we're just going to hand fly this to the ground. We can actually drop half flaps. Boost pump is on. Mixture will go full rich. Our landing light is on. We are good. So we're plenty high right now, and there's really not much you can do about that. By the time in Liverpool, oh, this might have been a... Alright, I get below 110 to get these full flaps in. There we go. Yeah, we can lower it there. That'll help us kind of steepen our descent rate. We'll add a little bit of power in, just to kind of stabilize that. And we're plenty high, but that's alright. We're far enough away that we have plenty of time to correct that. The next thing we'll go ahead and do is on here, activate vector to final. And by the time we pass over the final approach fix, which is going to be in just a moment, it should switch over for us. Alright, there's the course. Oh, you are in Liverpool. I don't remember the Liverpool airport identifier off the top of my head, but if you check liveatc.net and whatever the 4-letter identifier for Liverpool, you search that, it may have a feed. I don't know. Not all airports do. And I'm especially not particularly sure of the foreign ones. Foreign, I should say, being out of the U.S. But they may have it, and that's a pretty large airport with a lot going on. So I'll bet you that would have a feed. So if you search on that, it'll just let you pull up the audio. All right, 500 feet to go. Let's pull the power out. About a mile away. A little fast. We're looking okay. So just beyond the airport, I believe it's the Steese Highway that runs from Fairbanks up over the mountains, and then you get to Central, and it ends at Circle City over there on the Yukon River that we saw. Add some power, and we're actually looking quite good as long as we don't get any surprises. Easy. Alright, here we go. Let's take the power out. Don't have a lot of room to land, but we'll be fine. Get nice and slow. Alright, we're on the ground. Alright, let's go flaps up. Would you look at that? We're going to make that turn. That's awesome. And yeah, this is the parking area for Central. Just this field area. Right along the road. And that's the Steese Highway, actually, that runs right here. Would you look at that? Easy on the power here. Let's try to get turned around. I really need to set differential brakes up. I don't have rudder pedals, so I'm kind of stuck with the joysticks and the brakes. Alright, set the parking brake. Pitot heat can come off, landing light can come off, nav lights can come off. Flaps are up, mixture is rich. Boost pump. I'll leave the power where we're at. Alright, and it is back at idle here. So anyway, yeah, if you were to go along the Steese Highway just past the airport, headed toward Fairbanks, then you'll find the general store. And I think Central only has, I want to say, about 60 to 70 people living in it. I'm not 100% sure of that number. But there's the general store, and then a road that runs down to Circle Hot Springs that we kind of saw in the distance. But you're really kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and the winters here are brutal, and the summers are beautiful. Alright. Engines run at idle, we can go ahead and cut the mixture. Engine is stopped. Clear enunciators. Shut the strobe light off. All of those are good. Avionics master off. A 55-minute flight. Well, we actually made quite good time. Alternator and battery switches are off. Alright, folks. that's going to do it for this one. Welcome to Central Alaska. Thanks for joining me on the flight from Dawson and the Yukon. Great to have you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. And, yeah, hope to catch you on the next flight, wherever that's going to be. And until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see ya.